everyone, it's Kim here at Hancock Homesteading Gardens, and tonight I want to share with you how I make my hash. But before I do, I just want to say, don't I look nice in the apron that Renita from Honeycut Homestead made? I won this as part of her contest. And that reminds me, I have a contest going on. I have a book giveaway, and so I'll leave a card about it up above. Okay, so back to the hash. I used to make roast beef dinners for Saturday meals, and I would have the roast beef, the potatoes, the carrots, and then I would have a nice gravy that you could pour over the top of all three foods. Well, at the end, after we would finish the nice roast beef dinner, I would use the leftovers to make a hash. I would take a little bit of the potatoes, some of the carrots, the meat, the little leftovers, chop them up finely, and mix them in with the gravy, and I would water the gravy down just a little bit to make a hash. Well, my children enjoyed the hash so much that as soon as I would make roast beef, they would say, "Mom, are you going to make the hash?" So I thought that tonight I would share with you how I do the hash. It's really not very hard, but my girls are always asking, "Mom, can you tell me how to make this hash?" So I thought that I would just do a video on it. The first thing you're going to need to know are the ingredients, and those are very simple. You're going to need russet potatoes or red potatoes. Red potatoes will work too, but either russet or red. You do not want white because the whites will cook down too soft, okay? Russet potatoes and red potatoes, when you cook them, they stay firmer, that you want for your stews, okay? White potatoes are good for like baked potatoes or mashed potatoes. But if you're going to cook them, they will get too soft. So anytime you're going to use potatoes in a stew or a soup, you want to make sure it's either russet or red so that they will stay firmer. Okay, the other thing you're going to need are some carrots. Okay, you only need 5 pounds of the russets. Now we buy the 10-pound bags because we use them for other meals. But if you're going to make just the roast beef meal in the crock pot, all you really need is a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes. And they run $3.50 right now. They're running $3.50 at Walmart. And the 10-pound bags, of course, are running about $7. So, and then on the carrots, you really only need a 2-pound bag of carrots. This is a 5-pound bag. The 2-pound bags run about $1.50, whereas the 5-pound bags are running just a little over $3. Okay, so you got your potatoes, you've got your carrots. The next thing you're going to want to look for is your chuck pot roast. Okay, now as you can see, we found this one on sale. And the reason a lot of times that you can find meat on sale is because it is getting very close to or on the freshness date. Frugal family meals, and this could count as one because it is a very cheap meal. The ingredients are cheap, and then after you make it, you can get your formal roast beef dinner and then your hash stew, so you get a couple, 3 meals out of it. Okay, and then the other thing you're going to need is a box of the Lipton onion soup mix. This is what will add your flavoring, okay? And I like to use both of the packets. Okay, so you have your ingredients. You peel the potatoes, you peel the carrots. Well, it's not called peeling, but you clean the carrots, scrape the carrots, okay, and you get them ready. And now I'm going to show you what goes into the crock pot. Okay, so I had honestly not thought about showing you how to make the hash until I had already started the roast. So I'm just going to tell you how to put the roast into your crock pot. And what I do is I put the chuck roast in first, and over the top of that I take 1 cup of water and mix in the Lipton onion soup mix, and I pour that water with the soup mix over the top of the meat. Okay, so that's kind of your first layer. And then you're going to put in your potatoes and your carrots. And then I take another cup of water with the Lipton soup mix and I pour that over the top of the vegetables. And that will be kind of like your second layer. And what that does is the Lipton soup mix not only gives you a nice flavoring, an onion flavor to it, but it also gives you a base in which to make your gravy later on. And the onion soup mix really isn't super oniony. Oh, but anyway, so that's how you get it started. And then on a crock pot, high will be 6 to 8 hours, low will be 8 to 10 hours. Okay? Alright, now let's look at what we have here. I got out my bowls to separate everything. We have our potatoes, we have our carrots. Things don't have to be exact, but this is just how I do it. If you accidentally get a little slice of potato in there, it's no big deal. It smells, oh, so good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and separate these out. You know, it's however you want to do it. I mean, you would not have to divide your vegetables into 2 bowls. This is just always the way I've done it. So anyway, here we go. We're going to keep going at this. Okay. And then I'm going to take the meat out and I'm going to put the meat on this platter. Alright, there you go. There's what you start with. Your potatoes, your carrots, and your meat. Alright, here we go to the next step. To get out your saucepan with your colander that goes over the top. Okay, something like that. If you don't have a set like this, then you can just simply drain the juices off the best you can into a saucepan. But I always like to just do it this way. Okay, so I take my double set there. And I bring my juices, I don't know if you can see all those. And then I just pour all of that into there. Okay? And then this part is what you have left over. And all the juices is what you'll have in here. Okay. Okay, and then to that base, you're going to add water. Okay? Because the base is super thick, and so you're going to add water to it because the water that you had in there, you lost some of it through cooking, and you don't need a base that's quite this thick. Okay, so I want to show this to you again, what you're starting with. You're starting with a base, and I stirred that up so you could see. I brought the fat and the stuff that was in the bottom up to the top so you could see it better. Okay, that's your liquid base. All right. Okay, so you're going to want to bring your base to a boil, and then to that you're going to add flour. Okay, and you're going to add about a half a cup. But you're not going to add the flour directly to the boiling base. What you're going to do is you're going to mix the flour with cold water first. Okay, you take and put the flour in there in your glass of cold water. You stir that up until you have like a flour shake. So there we go. So we have our flour shake, our boiling base. Okay, and then just slowly add that in there. Whoops, made a mess there. That's all right, I'll clean it up. And what this flour shake is going to do is that it's going to thicken up your base. Okay, and make it into your gravy. And what I'm doing right now is I am taking and I'm smashing out the flour lumps against the side of the pan. All right. I don't know why that's doing that to me tonight. And I'm trying to tape, of course. But anyway. All right. And then you just keep stirring that. Take my fancy gravy bowl here and I'm going to put my gravy in it. Okay. So I just cut up potatoes and carrots into the saucepan. And you just make a whole pan full if you're feeding the whole family, or you can make a helping full, depending on how many people you're feeding. And then you also just add some of the meat. And you cut it up into little bite-sized pieces. Okay? Like so. And then you just simply pour your gravy on top. Give it a good stirring. Heat everything together. And pour it into a bowl. Add salt and pepper to your flavoring, and there you have it. Hash. Or stew. Some people call it stew. If you cut the pieces up tiny, I think that's what makes it the hash. And if you leave the pieces bigger, that's what makes it the stew. Alright, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the section below. If you'd like to know more about our homestead and what we do on it, please subscribe. This is Kim at Hancock Homestead and Gardens saying it's time to eat. Bye for now.